There's a rectangular light that's happening on the passenger side inside that vehicle. But what exactly is that light? If it's an iPad, if it's a tablet, was she live streaming at that time? Dom, the person sitting in the passenger seat, was he utilizing his iPad or something? And why was it facing that direction, facing towards MacKenzie? Was Dom trying to show something? Was he recording a video? We don't know if this was ever recovered. We do not know what the substance is of that light.
Yo, my name's Kat, and if you don't know, I was in prison with MacKenzie Shirilla. When I was in prison with her, it was at the beginning of her sentence. And the MacKenzie that came on to the Netflix was not the same MacKenzie that I witnessed in prison.
For years, many people believed the MacKenzie Shirilla case had already been settled in the public eye. The court reached its decision. The headlines slowly faded, and most assumed there was nothing left to uncover. But the release of Netflix's documentary Crash has changed that. Suddenly, a case that many thought was over is back in the spotlight, sparking intense debate and raising new questions about the people at the center of it all. As viewers revisit the story, some are beginning to wonder whether MacKenzie's upbringing, family dynamics, and the environment she grew up in may have played a larger role in shaping her actions than previously believed. At the same time, the documentary has reignited emotions among those closest to the tragedy. The sisters of Dom and Davian have been speaking out on social media, sharing their reactions and challenging some of the narratives presented in the film. Their comments have added a powerful and deeply personal perspective to an already emotional discussion. Meanwhile, a woman who reportedly spent time incarcerated with MacKenzie has come forward with claims that are drawing even more attention. According to her, the version of MacKenzie shown in the documentary is far different from the person she knew behind bars, suggesting that what viewers saw may not be the complete picture.
This is a comment from somebody that was in prison with MacKenzie about her joking and laughing, and she's like, haha. This girl did not care at all what happened. She states the documentary was the first time that she had ever seen this girl cry.
Was one, because she thrived for fame even while I was in prison with her. She thought that she was going to be the princess of the prison. MacKenzie Shirilla walked around prison thinking, how is she going to get in with the cool kids? Which, in prison, MacKenzie Shirilla did not relate to them at all. But as you can see by this new MacKenzie Shirilla that just popped on the Netflix documentary, she's really trying hard. She's had to get harder. She doesn't even talk the same.
As with any high-profile case, much of the discussion surrounding it comes from publicly available reports, media coverage, and statements that have been shared over time.
All she cared about was doing her makeup, walking the yard with her one or two friends that were also very similar to her, young girls, social media influencer wannabes, thinking that it was a high school popularity contest. Now in the documentary you can tell, because it's been a couple years by now, you can see she's been broken down.
The release of Netflix's documentary on the MacKenzie Shirilla case has brought new attention to the people connected to it, including interviews with MacKenzie, her parents, and the families of Dom and Davian. One thing that stands out in the documentary is that MacKenzie's parents continue to believe in her innocence.
Right?
What did they say about me?
No, it's not on the TV. It's just online, and they're just reposting the story. But that's okay. Write your book. Start writing your book. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know I have this feeling that something's gonna happen. With all these people reaching out, it makes me feel like.
Yeah.
You remember that one guy who got arrested for murder, and he became a model because he was just everyone was loving his mugshot.
Hell yeah, that was hot. I remember that guy.
Since the documentary premiered, however, new reports have surfaced involving her father. According to those reports, he was placed on administrative leave from his position as an art and digital video teacher at Mary Queen of Peace School in Cleveland, a private Catholic school. The school reportedly notified parents that a teacher had been placed on leave following allegations of poor judgment. In its message, the school emphasized that student safety, well-being, and trust remain top priorities and stated that concerns involving students are taken seriously and addressed promptly. The situation has sparked debate online. Some people argue that whatever happened in his daughter's case should not affect his employment, while others believe the circumstances have raised broader questions. As the discussion continues, opinions remain sharply divided. Since the documentary was released, Many people have started questioning whether MacKenzie's upbringing may have influenced some of the decisions she later made.
What I was saying is that who am I to say who can smoke and who can't smoke? Now, I never allowed my daughter to smoke marijuana. How was I stopping her? You know, couldn't lock her up in her room. I'm not quite sure where there's a problem with what I said. It was never, hey, everybody go smoke marijuana. Hey, you should, I don't understand why the documentary felt the need to put that in there.
One of the biggest talking points comes from details shared by her parents during their interviews. In the documentary, they explained that they allowed MacKenzie to move in with her boyfriend, Dom, when she was 17, because they believed she was mature enough to handle that level of independence. Her father also discussed allowing her to use marijuana, viewing it as a less serious concern compared to other potential risks teenagers might face. These revelations have sparked criticism from some viewers, especially when placed alongside footage and reports showing risky behavior. For many, the documentary raised questions about the boundaries and guidance that existed during her teenage years. At the same time, the film presents very different perspectives on MacKenzie's character. Her parents described her as a good student who generally stayed out of trouble. However, other individuals interviewed in the documentary claimed she sometimes bullied classmates and could be unkind to others.
So we know this is the MacKenzie that popped up on the documentary. Very cold, very hard, very smug. Okay, the MacKenzie that I was in there with looked a little bit more like this. Very bright-faced, very girly, very whatever you want to call it. Okay, but there's more. Showing her outfit that she got custom made in prison, okay? It's not giving hard gangster at all. This was her one and only friend that she had when I was there. They walked the yard every single day.
On the other hand, one of MacKenzie's close friends painted a very different picture. According to that friend, MacKenzie was caring, friendly, and not someone who would intentionally try to hurt another person.
So you look even more guilty. You don't care, like, that you took these lives. She walked around, never saw her cry. Are you kidding me? If I was in there, she walks around thinking she's gonna get out. Now, like I said in this documentary, after her appeals getting denied and stuff, I think it's kind of dawning on her that, baby girl, you're finna sit down.
The contrast between these accounts has only added to the ongoing debate about who MacKenzie really was. The documentary leaves viewers with very different versions of MacKenzie, making it difficult to know which portrayal is the most accurate. Some people have even speculated that certain friends may have been influenced before speaking publicly about the case, though there is no confirmed evidence to support those claims. Still, the conflicting accounts have led many to question whether the full picture is being presented. One friend featured in the documentary has drawn particular attention. She explained that she had a large social media following when the crash happened, which has led some observers to wonder why she rarely spoke publicly about the case at the time. The documentary also notes that investigators questioned why she reportedly declined to cooperate with parts of the investigation, while later agreeing to participate in the Netflix project. The families of the victims have also continued to share their perspectives. Davian's younger sister appeared in the documentary and has since been posting about the case on social media. Dom's sister has gone even further, launching a podcast dedicated to discussing the events and their lasting impact. MacKenzie herself appears later in the documentary. During her interview, she maintained that she never intended for anyone to be harmed and suggested that a possible episode related to POTS may have contributed to the crash.
MacKenzie Shirilla finally admits what happens in prison and says she may remember who actually caused the crash, and it was Dom, allegedly. Listen to this. You tell me if you're buying this. Here it is from jail.
I do not know how you survived that crash. Like, I don't even remember being coherent. Like, how they were saying I was, like, answering questions. Like, I don't remember that. Like,
She doesn't remember. But
I
listen.
don't remember any pain from the accident. I don't remember, like, how did you even end up in this? Like, how did you even get? I don't understand. I can't even go there. I was, like, folded down.
Yeah, you were folded down.
I'm not gonna say, but I like got my thing. I think I know. Like, I think I know what happened.
Much of her interview focused on repeating that she had no intent, and she appeared careful about how that message was communicated.
Here she goes.
I don't know for sure. But it could be wrong. Yeah.
She's being real careful.
Like, I feel like it was another incident of, like, Dom doing what he used to do all the time in the car.
What do you do? What do you do? First of all, she may not be admitting anything. It sounds like she's kind of brainstorming, but you're on a recorded jail call. This is not a smart thing to do when this can go out to the public. But second, I thought you said you had a medical issue, and I have POTS and dysautonomia, and I've been one of the only people saying it is possible what happened to her could have if she was having an episode. They were pretty adamant on that. However, now the story's changed.
By the end of the interview, she even checked with her attorney to make sure she had covered everything she needed to say, a moment that drew attention from viewers and added to the ongoing discussion surrounding the case and its future implications.
And it's like hard for me to ask questions on it because she got really touchy because she was going through her appeal. So only certain questions she would answer and others she would like stop and blankly stare and just not answer and just like come back. So I thought she was trying to add on to her Potts case by doing that.
Oh my God.
Because she told me it was from Potts, but I was like...
So she's playing that she's trying to act like that in prison.
Yeah.
Because she knew you were about to come out, you know what I'm saying, and eventually talk to someone.
See that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so she's trying to put that...
Not everyone who has spoken about MacKenzie shares the same view presented in the documentary. One person who claims to have been incarcerated with her has offered a very different perspective, suggesting that the version of MacKenzie shown to the public does not match the person she knew behind closed doors. Questions have also resurfaced about earlier interviews involving MacKenzie and her mother. In previous coverage of the case, the two were shown speaking in what appeared to be Pig Latin or coded language, while talking in the presence of investigators.
She speaks to her mother in a unique language. Yes. It's a gibberish or a distortion of the English language.
It's just a stupid kid's language. And again, these people were so stupid that they thought like in their prison phone calls that her and her mom are speaking it all the time. I'm telling you right now, I will put money on the fact that the dad does not know the language and that the mom and the daughter would speak it in front of him all the time. And basically because the mom thought she was the daughter's BFF.
Authorities have alleged that during one of those conversations, MacKenzie appeared to discuss the possibility of claiming she had suffered a seizure that caused the crash.
It's kind of like Pig Latin. Can we tell the police I had a seizure? Can we tell the police something like that?
Whether intentional or not, the exchange attracted significant attention and became another point of controversy in the case.
One of the first things that the girl said to the detective was instantly, "Can't you just take my driver's license away for 10 years?
Well, can I just take my license away for 10 years? Something like that.
She's feeling some kind of guilt here. So that instantly starts making us think that this is not an accident.
Another topic gaining attention again involves reports of an argument between MacKenzie and Dom roughly 2 weeks before the crash. According to statements made in the Netflix documentary, MacKenzie's parents say they now have text messages between MacKenzie and Dom's mother that suggest Dom once grabbed the steering wheel during a dispute while MacKenzie was driving. They argue that these messages provide important context and could play a role in a future appeal. The family has indicated that they intend to use those messages as part of their ongoing legal efforts. As new claims and old allegations continue to resurface, the case remains deeply divisive, with both supporters and critics pointing to very different interpretations of the same events. Another point that continues to generate debate involves claims that MacKenzie may have driven the same route just days before the crash. During the trial, prosecutors presented evidence showing that she traveled along the same roadway and visited the location where the incident later occurred. For many observers, that detail remains one of the most discussed pieces of evidence in the case. The documentary itself has also faced criticism. Some viewers have questioned whether certain people presented as friends of Dom and Davion were actually closer to MacKenzie. That has led to speculation that the film may have been designed to present a more sympathetic view of her than previous documentaries and media coverage. Critics of MacKenzie point to a series of incidents that they believe paint a troubling picture, including the reported coded conversations with her mother, discussions about possible medical explanations for the crash, and what they view as a lack of remorse for the two young men who lost their lives. Those concerns continue to fuel strong reactions online. Many people also argue that MacKenzie still sees herself as the victim in the story, while others believe responsibility ultimately lies with her actions. At the same time, some observers have suggested that her upbringing and the choices made by the adults around her may have influenced her behavior, though they do not view that as an excuse.